I started rucking for a specific reason because, so first of all, rucking is this walking with a weight on you. So it's weighted walking basically. But, I had started running a lot. I did a marathon, then ultimately did a half Ironman and an Ironman. And as the years have gone by, I was 52 when I did my Ironman. I'm 60 years old now. I just noticed when I went out jogging, I still like to jog, but it was starting to hurt my knees a little bit, and it never did before. And based upon that, I don't want to wear my knees out, and I was worried about that. But I still want to stay active. I wanted to keep my heart rate up. I wanted the cardiovascular benefits of jogging, but I couldn't have the stress on my knees. So I started researching how I can, what can I do at my age that's lighter on my knees, but still is a good cardiovascular workout. And I started researching online, and, I saw something called rucking, and I never really knew what rucking was, but it turns out it's just wearing, it's any kind of weighted walking, weights on your body, whether it's a vest or a backpack or even carrying your child around. Basically, that's rucking. But what it is it's so much easier on your joints. As I started to research this, I found that when you're jogging, you put 8 times your body weight stress on your knees with each stride. And when I looked up just basic walking, it's 2.7 times body weight for each stride or each time you take a step on your knees. When you look at rucking, all you're doing is adding on a little bit more body weight, right? So if I weigh 160 pounds right now and I add on 20 pounds for rucking, then it's 180 pounds of weight on my knees, but it's still just a little bit more than walking compared to 8 times your body weight on your knees when you're jogging. So for me, that was the biggest benefit. But other benefits, as I looked into it, was just, it really was a good cardiovascular workout. When I'm rucking with weights, it raises my heart rate up 2 to 3 times that of just walking. So I get the effects of exercising my heart, of burning more calories, losing weight. As I researched rucking more and looked into specific backpacks, if you keep the weight high up in your back, I found that it even helps with your posture because it pulls your shoulders back. And so it helps with your posture. It also is good for just, muscles, my leg muscles. It strengthens my leg muscles, but not only my leg muscles, it strengthens the muscles of my back and my shoulders and my core muscles. And so it's really not quite a whole body workout, but it really exercises a lot of your muscles just from walking. So there's so many benefits that I saw to it that I started doing it. And as I've done it now 2 to 3 months, I really enjoy it. I go out at least 2 or 3 times a week right now, and I'm really enjoying rucking.
Well, when you were telling me about how you were starting to ruck, you wanted to start doing that consistently. It's funny because, like, when you climb Kilimanjaro, that's all rucking. Or when we trained and we put, weights in, you just didn't know the terminology like rucking. I think
I
that's
didn't know
been,
the terminology. Yeah.
yeah, because the military, I know, has always been rucking, but I feel like rucking the last 5 to 10 years has gotten a lot more popular, where you see people talking about it. But yeah, it's just that you you have walking, and then you have like more vigorous exercise such as jogging or running. Rucking's a good in between that can fill the gap to still get your heart rate up more than walking, but not as high as running, and it's scalable. I mean, you were saying 20 pounds, but you can put anything from 2.5 pounds in a backpack that you own all the way up to 50 pounds or beyond. But obviously, as you start having more weight, if you're not just doing something simple, you want to actually get a structured pack, like you were talking about, from a brand that's specifically meant for rucking, because it's going to distribute the weight where you want it to in your upper back versus sagging down in the back.
Yeah. I think it's the variability. Sometimes I put less weight in, other times I put more weight in because I think your body likes variability. So I don't ruck the same weight every single time, and I don't ruck every day. You could eventually ruck every day, but I'm not at that point. So I'm trying to change it up a little bit.
So in Colorado, what I try to do is, obviously I run, 5 or 6 times a week. I walk when I can and like hike. So getting the variability of going up elevation gain, which is great. And then I throw in rucking as well. My hiking pack, I'll put weight at times. And yeah, it definitely gives you, a good variability. And I think it makes like walking or hiking uphill, when you've done it with a pack, it makes it much easier to do it. It feels way easier just walking in general by
Yeah.
itself, which I think is helpful.
I've also noticed since I started rucking, um, my knees don't hurt as much when I jog because I still dry jog twice a week now, and I've been doing like 3 to 4 miles, but my knees don't hurt anymore. And I think maybe having that weighted backpack has built up my leg muscles. I don't know, but I can tell you that it doesn't hurt nearly like it used to on my knees. So I'm not giving up jogging completely. I'm just substituting some of my jogging with rucking, and then sometimes I go out just for a plain walk with no weights. But it is interesting. There's another point of this too. I mean, as I researched, you touched upon it, the military. I mean, the military has done rucking forever. And I think there's another reason that they have these guys do rucking is because it's mental discipline. I mean, it's hard, rucking, your shoulders are hurt, and you have to work your way into it. But you have to keep a mental discipline out there when you're rucking to make it through this. I mean, how would you probably notice that, Kevin? Right? I mean, it's it forces you to do something that's uncomfortable, but you try to finish it anyways. And so for me, it's
Yeah.
been kind of disciplining me to do it.
It's a different thing from like running or lifting, but yeah, it's definitely, especially if you're going up hills. I mean, rucking, as you scale it with weight, it's not, it's still, it's giving you some like pressure, it's not like easy, like walking. If you're considering you're an able-bodied person, walking's not really, unless you're walking very briskly, isn't really considered hard, or it's not really mentally challenging you. It's usually pretty
Right.
relaxed. So I think adding something like the discomfort is good, because we have a lot of comfort in our life in different areas. So I think the discomfort definitely builds some mental resilience. And then as you start doing it, I mean,
Yeah.
right? Like if you did it the first time, once you do it the first time, I feel like, or the first couple times, then you're like, okay, I can do this each time. It's not dissimilar to starting any like exercise routine. Once you kind of get in the rhythm of it, the first time is like tougher, the first 10 minutes. And then once you kind of get in a routine of doing it, um, you're going to get through it each time, and that you see the benefits from it. Because I know, why don't you go through a little bit more of like what you were telling me from when you first started to like 30 days or 60 or a few months after, of the things you've noticed?
Well, at first, my wife just had this weighted vest. It was 12 pounds. And so I tried it. And for me, that was pretty easy. So then I looked into it, got my backpack that I got. I bought a 20-pound weight. And 20 pounds, when I first picked that thing up, I'm going, wow, this is a lot heavier than I ever thought 20 pounds would be. So the first couple of times I went out, my shoulders hurt and my upper body hurt. And I mean, I couldn't wait to be done with the walk. I still did my full amount. And I only started out with like a mile or two at first. So now I'm up to 5 miles. But those first few times, I mean, your shoulders are sore, especially when you're done. You just want to get that thing off of you. But as anything, as you do it more and more, I've noticed now I look forward to go out rucking. I'm up to over 5 miles now, really. And I'm at 20 pounds, and I think I'm going to bump it up to 25, 30 pounds here shortly. But it's like anything. I've noticed a gradual increase. I've lost probably 2 or 3 pounds doing this. I just feel better. I feel stronger. When I put that backpack on, it doesn't bother me as much. Even when I do my 5 miles now, I don't nearly, my shoulders and my muscles don't bother me like they did those first few times. So there's always a little bit of a curve at the beginning. You got to go through some discomfort to get the benefit, but it's been a great new workout for me. It gets my heart rate up into the higher zone two, which walking, I would be lucky to get into zone two. And, zone two typically is your fat burning zone, but not that I'm doing it for that reason, but it definitely jumps my heart rate up into a different zone that I wouldn't get with plain walking. So I love that
Yeah.
added benefit.
Yeah, and you want, like, you're doing plenty of normal walking too, and that's getting you all your zone one, zone two, which, that's what you want. A majority keep building your aerobic base, and there's a ton of benefits there. But you also want to, with your couple jogs and some of these harder rucks, to get your heart rate to the higher ends when you can. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, obviously, as I think a huge thing of it, especially for, you see a lot of people who are younger, like in their 20s, like me, or 30s, or just like hardcore fitness people, using rocks or using weight to even do running as well, or just do these hard circuit workouts like high rocks and everything else, which become really popular. But it's also very applicable for something as you age. It's a great lower impact way to keep getting exercise in it, and trying to um, build yourself up, because as you age, right? Sarcopenia, or what is it? The muscle
Yeah,
loss
you
after
lose your
age
muscle.
30. So I'm saying, as you get older, what's good is if you're just walking with no weight, you can't get like any muscle really, or you can't really you're not having any resistance there. If you're hiking up mountains, then yes, you build up your legs and stuff, but that's
Well,
just really, it's building up your shoulders, your back, like your core a little bit, and your legs, right?
rucking, you actually build muscle mass. You're building muscle mass. And so it's another benefit of rucking because as you age, you're not tearing down your muscles during doing this. You're building your muscles up. So I think that was another big benefit for me as I get older to maintain my muscle mass. With jogging, I'm going to be breaking it down a little bit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's why it's important with people if you're running and jogging, like you have to be, you need to do strength training too. You can't, in
Right.
anything, you can't not skip some form of strength training or resistance training, whether that's body work, rucking, going and lifting weights at the gym.
Well, I was just say, I remember when you and I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, and yeah, I never realized what we were doing was rucking because we always had a backpack on. I don't know what mine probably weighed 15, 20 pounds, or last year's weighed more, but we climbed every day for 4 to 7 hours a day, and we were climbing upwards. And so at the end of that week, I had lost, like when I got home, I was 10 pounds lighter after
Yeah.
that whole trip that you and I went on to Africa and climbed that mountain. And it just shows you the amount of calories we were burning
Hmm.
by putting in that effort of walking up that mountain to
Well,
19,741
the other thing is too,
feet.
it's as you're at higher elevation, and we're not used to 14,000, 17,000 feet. Like higher elevations, you're have less of an appetite. You have to force yourself to eat more at times, so it's hard to
True.
consume as many calories. That's part of it as
Yeah.
well. But I think an important point too is like you were already pretty fit before you started rocking. Like you already were consistently walking a lot. So I would think it's a good thing to talk about. You know, I don't think it's probably the best idea to just jump right into rucking if you don't have a regular walking routine or exercise routine of some sort. Or what are your
Yeah.
thoughts on
Point.
like what that would look like? So to scaling up to it and then starting with a weight and trying to figure out what's a good weight for you.
I think Kevin brings up a good point because not everybody has the same health, and I've been pretty healthy my whole life, and I don't have any medical problems. But for other people, maybe you haven't been walking. So I think what Kevin says is completely true. I mean, you should start up and get a baseline of just walking. So you just want to start walking, get used to walking, whether it's 10 minutes a day or half an hour a day, or you work your way up to 2 hours a day. But then at some point, when you're comfortable with walking and you feel good about it, then I would add 5 pounds. Put two water bottles in your pocket, or just put a backpack with 5 pounds in it, and do that for a couple of days and see how it feels. And if you're or a week, it doesn't matter, just how you feel and try it. And if you do fine with that, then bump it up slowly, maybe go up to, 7 pounds or 10 pounds, and try that for a week and see how your body responds to it. And if your body responds well, then I would keep bumping it up slowly. But, if you wake up the next morning for a week every morning and you're really sore and you're hurting, I wouldn't increase your weight. I would keep
Mhm.
it the same or maybe back off until you start to feel, you know, like when I go rucking now, when I wake up in the morning, I'm not sore anymore like I used to be. So that tells me I'm ready to bump it up past 20 pounds because I don't get sore at all anymore. But when I first started, I was really sore. And so I kept it at the 15 pounds for a while till I bumped it up.
Well, I think an important thing that I've read and heard before is, and I think it's very true. Our body's very smart, and we've evolved over thousands of years. So when you have pain, that's not like a sign of weakness. That's a signal from your body. Like stuff shouldn't be like straight painful, or you shouldn't wake up barely able to move after rucking. Um, so it's important to take it slow, start somewhere and be consistent. So if you're not walking, start by just trying to implement a 10-minute walking daily habit and increase from there. And then you can keep getting to other stuff. And then eventually you might even find yourself, walking, then rucking, then maybe even jogging a small amount. The most important thing I think is the best workout routine is one that you actually do. So if you hate, lifting weights at the gym, or you hate running, or you dislike some forms, but hey, you like to play tennis and you've noticed that you've been out of stamina more, um, but you want to do that, and then adding in a workout routine of just walking every day for at least 30 minutes and rucking, or something of the sort, whatever can get you to doing the things you want to do, I think is the best routine and something that you'll actually do. Just like with diet, if it's something, if it's a workout routine that you don't like and you're not gonna do it, then a workout routine that's not as vigorous but you'll actually do every day is much more important.
And, I think basically what we're talking about is just walking, right? This is rucking is walking. But think about all the benefits of walking just as a baseline, just doing like Kevin said, 10 or 15 minutes a day. But the benefits of walking, it builds your heart, it strengthens your heart. It improves your circulation. That helps decrease the risk of stroke. helps decrease the risk of a heart attack. It lowers your blood pressure, but there's so many more effects to it. I mean, it boosts your immune system, so it helps fight off infections that you may get. It is good for building your bones and muscles, so it helps prevent osteoporosis. It helps sarcopenia, like we talked about, muscle loss. It also, just walking in general releases endorphins, so it's good for your mood. It helps fight off depression and anxiety. And even like a walk after dinner, we all talk about, people always talk about, why is it good to walk after dinner or after a meal? Because when you walk, it stimulates your body to take your glucose that's in your bloodstream into your tissues and get it out of the bloodstream. So it helps actually prevent diabetes in some people just by taking a walk after a meal. I mean, there's so many benefits to walking.
And everyone always talks about this 10,000 steps per day magic number, but that's actually not fully backed in science. That's actually from a Japanese pedometer company. So, according to more recent studies, it's actually around 7,000 steps a day is a great target to have. But if you're not getting 7,000 steps a day, that doesn't mean you're failing. The more steps you get and the more you're moving, the better it's going to be for your health. So, I mean, if you're walking 2,000 steps per day now, if you double that to 4,000 per day and you're consistent with it, you're going to see improvements there because you're just having higher output. But 7,000 is a great target to go for. But it is funny how certain things get stuck in the mainstream because I feel like people always target 10,000 and think you need 10,000 to get benefit or the most benefit.
I mean, everybody I know in the hospitals and stuff that I talk to, they all have their watches set for 10,000 because they think 10,000 is the magic number. And it is kind of funny that it came from that company almost as a promotion for their pedometer, which was crazy.
Yeah. But I think just in general, there's lots of things you can do. We were talking about rucking, and like my dad said, it's just walking, and that's adding a little extra challenge. And he's enjoyed doing it. It's something at 60 that he can do, and he's been enjoying. Also, just getting outside too is a huge thing about why walking, rucking, or running can be fun, or wherever you can do it. But it's just trying to implement extra things. Just parking a little further in the parking lot,
Yeah.
or taking the steps instead of the elevator. Just little extra things that you can add into your life that don't feel like extra work. Taking a 10-minute walk after a meal helps you digest better and you're getting extra steps in. And something I like to do is, even when I'm like talking on the phone with my parents or friends or for other reasons for work, I like to try to walk around outside and just get extra steps in, because even someone who is I run, I strength train, I bike, I hike, and all these other things, but still that walking is still very beneficial for me. Of the more steps I get in, like out of direct exercise, that's just all building up my aerobic base too. It's plenty of zone 0, zone 1, even sometimes zone 2 if it's 90 plus degrees out and I'm pushing walking more briskly. But it has all the other benefits too, of like my dad discussed. And I think another one that's well researched is it boosts creativity and you can get great ideas. I mean, I think that specifically if you're trying to walk around without your phone or anything else, and just it's very de-stressing. Like if you've ever been doing a lot of work and then you just go take like a 15-minute break and walk around and you don't think about anything, I think that's it. Also, it reduces stress. Then that's just like for me personally, because it just takes your mind. We have so much technology around us all the time, and we sit a lot, or a lot of people, for work, so it's good to just be standing and walking around.
But I would say for anybody who's a regular walker who just, does fine with walks, you know, every day or not every day, try rucking. I mean, rucking has so many benefits. I think you would enjoy it. Start out slow, small weights and see how it goes. For people who aren't walking, try walking, try going just a little bit. Like Kevin said, 5 or 10 minutes a day for a week and just see how you do. There's so many benefits as we listed just to your whole body and your mental being. But then we often get the question, I get people who comment, well, I can't walk. I'm in a wheelchair, or I have heart disease, or I can't breathe. What do I do? How do I stay healthy? And that's always a tough question, because it's a good question, because, I'm lucky enough to be able to go out and run and ruck and walk. And so is Kevin, but not everybody has that luxury. So what can you do to help yourself when you can't hardly walk, you can't ruck? I think, even if you have chronic diseases, you're in a chair a lot of the day, I do think you can do light free weights, like you said, for strength training. You could try using your legs with some light weights on your legs and exercise your legs up and down. You can use, weights with your arms and your hands. So those are little things that you could do. Obviously, just to stay healthy, I mean, try to eat as healthy as you can, right? I mean, try not to eat all the bad foods, the fast foods, the processed foods. I mean, anything like that can help your body function better because it needs good nutrients, just like a car needs, good gasoline to function properly.
It can be a tough situation, but you can try to make the most. I'm a big believer that you can try to do what you can and figure out and make the most of it. But if you're listening and are watching any of this stuff and you have concerns, you don't feel fully healthy, even, definitely consult your physician first, or take it really slow. Be careful, and listen to your body always. If you have pain when doing any type of exercise, always, I would stop and consult your physician, and um, listen to your body. And the most important thing I think is to stay injury free long term.
100%. Because, once you injure yourself, you set yourself way back and you're behind the eight ball. So definitely, want to find out, first of all, if you're healthy enough to do this. If you have any concerns, see your doctor, and then just start out slow and work your way up gradually. And that's the way to do it.
But hopefully you gain something from this. And I think the number one thing would be just try to move more, try to walk more.